Are you a breeder looking to showcase your show pigs? With a Walton Webcasting Show Pig Shoot, we are your go-to video service for capturing the full picture of your show pigs. We specialize in providing top-quality video services for breeders like you. Our skilled video team comes directly to your operation. You talk to pigs, we capture the video. Whether it's baby pigs, boars, gilts, or sows, we ensure that their unique features will shine through. With the power of our website and social media, your professionally recorded videos are streamed live, allowing potential customers from all over the country to view and appreciate the quality of your show pigs. We handle the technicalities so you can focus on what you do best, raising exceptional livestock. To schedule your next show pig shoot, call Rhonda at 765-431-7367. Welcome to the ultimate show on the track. Today we celebrate our premier partners, the driving force behind the livestock industry across the nation. Get ready to witness the power of partnership as our premier partners take to the asphalt. Green light and they're off. On the track we have our first partner, Laird Premium Blend Genetics from premiumblendgenetics.com. Next up, it's Beck's Hybrids from beckshybrids.com. And here comes Showright from showright.com. Coming around, we have Brad Howe Ford from bhiford.com. Right behind them, it's Biozyme from biozymeinc.com. And here comes First Farmers Bank and Trust from ffbt.com. And rounding out the racers, it's Kennedy Ventures from kennedyventuresok.com. On the track and in the ring, it's all about collaboration and teamwork. Join us in honoring our premier partners because together they're the driving force of the livestock industry.
2, we're going to get started with your market steer show. Our first division will be ABC's All Brahman Crosses. I'd like to welcome to the ring our judge today, Mr. Jason Hoffman of Thedford, Nebraska. We have Class 1 in the ring.
Really a nice class to start. We're going to start with this butterscotch steer here. He by far has the most good to him. He's a massive made steer that's pretty soft middled, really good on his feet and legs as well. When you get behind him, a lot of product in this calf, and he's just dialed into the nines as well. I bet this was a really fun steer for this young man and his family to work on. This is the kind that kind of gets you excited to go out to the barn. Calf here in second gets a little bit higher in his spine, and for as muscular as he looks up there in that build of his spine, he doesn't have as much to him as our class winner when you get behind him. He's got some bone on standstill. I like him a whole lot in terms of bone and having some look up through that front third. Doesn't get around the ring quite as comfortable as our class winner, but he's got a tremendous amount of good in him. Really quite a bit over his top, and like I say, he's got a lot of added bone and a pretty good foot under him as well.
Well, congratulations in our first class of ABC Steers. First place exhibited by Kennedy Long, and second place go to Madison Cope. We'll now welcome in Class 2 to complete the division.
Three really nice ABC steers over here. The calf that wins the class, I like a lot of things about. Not only does he have the most correct angles to him, he's the most up-headed. He lays into that shoulder the neatest. And you think he's just going to be really pretty from there back, but I think he's got the most product from there back too. He's got a huge top in him, and I love how level it is back to his hip. He's got some real turn to his quarter. He's got some real bone underneath of him. He's just a very good fault-free calf, and I think he gets around the ring the best too. The steer here in second, I like a lot of things about. He's another wide-built steer that's got some mass and got some width to him. He kind of rolls, and our class winner does a little bit too on those right hinds, but those back feet. But I think there's a lot of good in this calf. There's a lot of product, and he's just typey enough and got enough look to him to get over the steer in third. This calf here in third's got some real product in him. He's got some real muscle to him. He's got some real hip to him. He just doesn't put it together in as elegant of a package as the two steers ahead of him. He kind of gets a little tighter in that spine, rolls out of his hip, and that carries down into his hind leg as well. But from end to end, those are three really, really good steers.
Well, congratulations back over here in the Seminole. Of ABC steers. First place exhibited by Kennedy Long. Second place go to Madison Cope. And third place exhibited by Layla Smith. We're going to bring in those first and seconds. We'll select a champion reserve ABC steer.
At Frontier Embryo Center, where tradition meets innovation in cattle breeding and fertility services, we're more than just a cattle service. We're your partner in elevating your herd's genetics. Our 60-day pregnant reset program and 6-month wean calf program are designed to maximize your genetic potential. With premium reset cows that are always on hand, health tested and selected for their docile and maternal traits, we handle the hard work so you can focus on growing your operation.
Two awesome class winners over here on the steer side. I like these steers a lot. They're extremely high quality, but they do differ some in type and kind. And I see this black steer is having more shape when you get up there on that front 3/4 view. A lot of product in this calf and a lot of added look. He'll be your champion. And the young man's other steer, this little sister showing here, will be reserved. Those are two really, really high quality steers.
Ring results out of our first division. Your champion was exhibited by Kennedy Long, and reserve champion also exhibited by Kennedy Long. We'll now get started with your next breed. We'll bring in class 3. These are British steers. We have three classes in our division of British steers.
Bit of difference in these two calves. This white calf's just built wider. He's a square built calf that's really presented extremely well. Got a lot of look to him. He's got some natural base width as well. He's good in his rib. He's pretty clean all the way back behind, just a high quality calf. This black calf here in second's really long and extended, extremely long up through that front third. Square from his hooks to his pins. He's just gonna need more time and bulk up just a little bit. But two really nice calves, a little different in their type and kind. Nice Hereford Mark steer here to win the class. He's got the most look to him and probably the most correct in his angles too. And this calf handles with the most top, no question. With that, he's got added look and he gets around the ring as good as any of the 3 steers in here. The steer that's got a little more angle to his shoulder, this red steer here, will be second. And with that, I think he's got more shape and he's got more width from stifle to stifle. They're just more product and just way more shape to this calf. Like to correct him in his knee just a little bit as he goes, but I do think he's got enough advantages up there through his front end to get over this steer here in third. This steer wants to open up a little bit. He's pretty straight shouldered and wants to drop his neck, but I think he's a wide built calf that's got some natural base width to him. Just like to freshen him up a little bit, find himself higher in the class.
Well, congratulations back over here in the steer ring. Results out of our first 2 classes of British Steers Class 3. First place exhibited by Maddox McCollum. Second place will go to Savannah Warren. In Class 4, first place exhibited by Harper Atterbury. Second place went to Gunnar Warren. And third place went to Madison Perez. We'll now welcome in Class 5. This will be your final class of British Steers. Back over in the Simmental ring.
Class of steers here. There is some give and take in him, but this black steer here, when he first come in, I thought maybe it was just a little bit too straight in his shoulder, but I think he's as correct as any of them in here. With that, I think he puts the most power and just shape, and I think he'll hang a carcass that way too. He definitely has more power than this white steer when you're looking at him from that up front 3/4. When you get behind him, the same holds true. They're just more muscle in this steer. Calf here in second, young man does an excellent job showing, and he's a really attractive steer. He just disappoints you a little bit when you get right on him and you handle him. I'd like to put more power in this steer throughout. He's a well-presented calf. Young man does a great job putting him together. I'd just like to pull them apart and add more product. The Hereford Mark steer here in third. On the standstill, I like a lot. Now he handles a little bit more narrow over his top too, and with that he kind of jabs that front foot down in the ground when he moves. I'd like to relax him in that shoulder just a little bit as we go, but I think he's got enough body and enough density to get over this calf that concludes the class. This young man does a great job showing too, and surprisingly, when you handle this calf, he's got as much top as any of them in here. He's just a little bit more extreme, a little bit more tubular in his rib. I'd like to soften him up just a little bit, but a really good calf to conclude a tough class.
Well, congratulations in our final class. The British Steers first place, exhibited by Bryce Hatfield. Second place go to Mason Eisenhower. Third place went to Braden Henry, and fourth place to Jimmy Galbraith. We're now going to welcome in those first and seconds. We'll select a champion and reserve British steer.
Over here on the market steer side, there's some give and take in these calves. It kind of comes down to the white steer up front and the black steer in the back. I definitely think there's more power in that steer back there, that black steer. He's got more top. He reads to have more top than what he does when you handle him, but he's got more shape to his quarter, there's no question. But I think the highest quality one that puts the most good up is this white steer up here. Like the pattern of this steer, I'd like to give him a shot more muscle throughout, but I think he gets around the ring as good as any of them. He's got some natural base width. He's right in the way his body blends together with his chest and his hip, just a really high quality type of steer. I like to put the two together a little bit, but that black steer just gives up a little bit more, a little bit straighter up in that front end. I'd like to split him and open him up just in his toe development or his toe structure just a little bit. He wants to curl. Those are the differences. White steer will be champion, black steer will be reserve.
Well, congratulations, your champion British steer exhibited by Maddox McCullum and reserve champion exhibited by Bryce Hatfield. Back over in the semi.
in kind. The black calf's got the most good to him, probably the most structurally correct. And when he came out, I thought, man, those are big old feet underneath that steer. And he's just got a little bit more bone, and with that, he's a little better jointed. He's more flexible, got more shape up high, and got more shape when you get behind him as well. He could have a little bit more depth of body, but I think relative to this particular class, he has the most good to him. Calf here in second, you like a lot of things about, like to make him a little bit more masculine up through his head. He's a little bit straighter shouldered and cuts up in that flank. You can tell this young man's put a lot of effort into this steer. He's got some really, really good pieces. Just like to see him balance out a little bit better like our class winner. Calf here in third is just a little bit straighter up through that front end. He's a little bit more narrow through his chest. I'd like to pull him apart throughout, but I think he's a good calf that's got some width over his top, and he carries that down into his forerib, and he's deeper flanked than our calves ahead of him. I'd just like to pull him apart and give him some more real muscle. Calf that concludes the class has got some length to him relative to his size. He's got some muscle shape to him. Just doesn't balance up or have as much power as some of the calves ahead of him.
Well, congratulations in our first class of exotics. This is class 6 in our overall steer classes. First place exhibited by Peter Grosena. Second place went to Carson Oliver. Third place go to Keaton Gilbreth. And fourth place exhibited by Briley Clark. We're now going to welcome in class 7. Well, congratulations in class 34.
in this class. He could be a little bit bigger footed and he kind of rolls up there off those front feet just a little bit. But I think he's got the most to him and he's got the most quality to him. He's the easiest steer to look at that balances out the best. With that, he's got some added width and some base width, and he just blends together so much better in our steer here in second. When you get a hold of the steer here in second, he's got some real muscle in his top and back through his hip. I'd just like to see him a little bit better out to his pins. He gets a little more shallower, especially up in his flank, and he's just a little bit coarser throughout. But I think there's a tremendous amount of product in this calf, and he's got a lot of good to him. He holds himself together. He's got more real muscle, and he's fresher in the calf here in third. This calf's really long and attractive and got some good in him. Holds himself together, and his top really good for as long-bodied as he is. Good out through his hip, just a little bit more shallow. Like to pull him apart a little bit, especially up high, but a nice calf. The steer behind him doesn't balance out quite as nice. He gets just a little bit deeper in that chest, a little bit rounder in his hip, opens up in his shoulder, but with that comes a lot of shape, comes a lot of rib, comes a lot of hip. I think there's some good in that steer. This steer just needs more time here. That concludes the class. He's got some good to him. I like to pull him apart just a little bit and just give him some more time and muscle, and I think it'd definitely be to his advantage.
Well, congratulations over here in the steer ring. Results out of Class 7. First place exhibited by Lacey Campbell. Second place will go to Corey Robson. Third place exhibited by Skylar Woodcock. Fourth place was exhibited by Madison Perez. And fifth place went to Allie Harrison. We'll now welcome in Class 8. And congratulations, your champion junior heifer calf comes out of Class 33. That was Brooklyn Bailey.
underneath him as any of them. With that, he's got some real depth of body to him, and he doesn't give up a lot of muscle to have that much depth. He's a steer that handles extremely nice. Maybe like to freshen him up just a little bit through his front third, but that'd be about it. Not trying to sound like a heifer guy up here, but I'd just like to clean him up there a little bit and freshen him up. But I think he's a wide-built steer that's got a tremendous amount of good in him. Steer here in second follows suit extremely well. This is a really good steer. He's good in his lines. Probably laid in a little bit neater into his neck from to shoulder. Really good over his top. He gives up the power, and he's just not as pulled apart as our class winner. Extra length, and I think he holds it together extremely well when he gets around the ring. He's a wide pin calf that probably tapers down a little bit into his quarter relative to our class winner, but a really, really good steer that follows our class winner extremely nice and type and kind. I like this steer here in third a lot, especially on the standstill. He's a little tender-footed, but I think with that he's just straighter up in that shoulder. I'd like to relax him a little bit there when you get him going. He's got as much power and real muscle in him probably as any of the steers in here, but he doesn't balance out as nice as the two calves ahead of him. Really a highly presented, extremely well shown steer is the steer here in fourth. A little bit more extreme than the calves ahead of him. A little bit more tubular, a little tighter up into that flank. Really good looking. I love the top 2/3 of this steer extremely well. Young man does a heck of a job showing him. Really a good kid here, I can tell you, that follows him. I like this calf. I like him on the standstill. I like when I get over the top of him. I like the fact that he's got some muscle into his stifle, but when you park him, he kind of wants to open up in that front end quite a bit. With that, he's just a little bit more stale up in his front third. It's really evident when he moves as well, but I do appreciate him for the amount of muscle he's got. And then we get into a couple steers here that have some give and take in them in terms of type and kind. This steer doesn't balance out as nice over his loin into his back. He's a little bit lower fronted, a little bit straighter shouldered, but I think he's got some real product in him and he's got some shape to him, and that's why he beats the calf that concludes the class. The steer's a little more mature headed. I like to make him a little bit more masculine throughout. Extremely pretty, extremely level design.
Well, congratulations over here in the steer ring. Results out of Class 8. First place exhibited by Sierra Collins. Second place went to Ella Totsky. Third place exhibited by Kelton Arthur. Fourth place go to Beckett Weingartner. Fifth place was exhibited by Autry Berend. Sixth place exhibited by Blakely Stevens. And seventh place exhibited by Emily Harwer. Now in the ring, we'll welcome Class 9.
the delay here that this pair took longer than some classes probably have or will. These steers are awesome, but the calf that's going to win the class is the young ladies up here. Super complete, built really good from the ground up. I'll tell you where his advantages are, and I'll tell you where the steer behind him has more advantages. But this calf here is so fault-free on his feet and legs as he goes. I love the way he holds himself together behind his shoulder all the way back here through his hip. I think he's a very complete calf that's got no holes in him. And if there is, it's not worth picking through because that's a really, really good steer. Added top, added muscle, added flexibility, and he's got an advantage in foot quality, and he ties together right behind his shoulder and primarily up in his hip, and then this calf here in second. I love the look of this steer, and I think one thing that holds him in together is when you get off the side, his neck comes out as high as it does. He's got real muscle over his top. And when you get behind him, every time he catches your breath, it's like, gosh, dang, that is power right there. That steer's got some real muscle when you get behind him. When you get him going, he's not as good-footed. He kind of runs downhill a little bit. He picks that hip up. He doesn't balance out as smooth over his top back through his hip. Yes, he's got a definite advantage to a lot of steers we've seen today in terms of power, but our class winner gives up no power, holds himself together better, still a little smoother at his shoulder and forerib. Two really, really good calves. The steer here in third, I like from the profile a whole lot. He's a really well presented calf. I'd like to pull him apart all the way through, primarily through his chest and into his twist. The calf needs more base width. He's really, really well designed in terms of being level and good out through his hip. I'd just like to give him a shot more power. The calf here that follows him, tons of hip, tons of power, big top in him, handles with as much top as any steer in the class, got a lot of width to him. This calf just kind of puts himself into pieces a little bit when you ask him to go. Doesn't balance out as nice as those steers ahead of him, primarily through his shoulder. The calf that follows him probably just needs more base width, needs more quarter. He's a calf that's built really wide up high, and he holds himself together more level than the calf that concludes the class. This calf gets a little tighter in his spine, kind of drops off in his pins just a little bit. Like to balance him out nicer because this is an extremely, extremely high quality class all the way to the bottom.
In the market steer ring, results out of class 9. First place was exhibited by McClay Gensini. Second place will go to Cole Caldwell. Third place, Denver McKay. Fourth place, Kyra Noble. Fifth place, and congratulations to Cade Stratman. And sixth place was exhibited by Clay Wilson. Now in the ring, this is class 10 to conclude our exotic steer division.
Really an exceptionally good class here. And you know, I don't think I realized how good the class was until I got my hands on him and kind of went back through, because we got a clear-cut class winner. This steer gets around. Look, I'm not going to make my living judging steer shows, so if this sounds dumb, it's a risk I'm willing to take. But when this calf gets to going, I think, gosh dang, he could have made a bull. Actually, the kind of animal that needs to reproduce. He's got a lot of authority. He's got a lot of shape to him. He's got a tremendous amount of base width. He moves with freedom and ease. I like how he is in his joints. He's plenty good enough footed. Unbelievable power when you get behind him. The calf here in second, I like a lot of things about. A little bit older, a little bit more mature in his head. Doesn't have the authority this class winner or the last class winner, but he's fault free. And to be this weight, I think he really holds himself together extremely good. I think there's a tremendous amount of good in him. I really like the cut of this young man too. And he does an exceptional job showing he's very relaxed. Steer just blends together good all the time. This is a very high quality steer. The steer here in third, I like a lot. Really like him on the standstill. He's definitely more mature and a little bit more stale up in that front third. Maybe doesn't put himself together with the same type and kind of the two steers ahead of him, but I think he's awfully good. With that, he's got some muscle, he's got some density to him, and he's sounder than our calf here in fourth. This calf's a little bit shorter bodied to where he looks like he's more complete, but when you put him into motion, he's just a little more rigid in his stride, a little bit more timid, and kind of jabs both ends into the ground. Go ahead and pull forward over just a little bit, maybe he'll follow you out. Black and white calf here, I like a lot of things about. Really like this steer. When you handle him, I like him on the standstill. When you get him to go, he's just too straight off both ends, especially in that hock. I'd like to just loosen him up just a little bit and freshen him up, as well as the gray calf that follows him. He's a little bit plainer. With that, he gives up muscle, especially down low. Kind of wants to waller out on his hind legs just a little bit too. I like to make him a little bit more direct. I like another really good young man here that's got the halter, this white steer. Really does a good job showing it. Steer's made exceptionally good over his top and back through his hip. He's got some real muscle up high. When you get off the side, he just doesn't have enough down low. He doesn't have enough mass to his middle. He doesn't have enough substance to him. The calf that concludes the class, tall fronted, really long and extended calf that's got some added look to him. Just need to power him up and soften him up to get any higher in the class.
Well, congratulations in our final class of exotic steers. First place, exhibited by Ramey Yoakum. Second place go to Tyler Neal. Third place, exhibited by Xavier Weiss. Fourth place went to Brennan Henry. Fifth place go to Kendall Bishop. Sixth place, exhibited by Grady Woodcock. Seventh place, Hollis Driscoll. And eighth place, Anna McKinley. We're going to bring in those firsts and seconds. We will be selecting a top 5 in our exotic division.
At Frontier Embryo Center, where tradition meets innovation in cattle breeding and fertility services, we're more than just a cattle service. We're your partner in elevating your herd's genetics. Our 60-day pregnant reset program and 6-month wean calf program are designed to maximize your genetic potential. With premium reset cows that are always on hand, health tested and selected for their docile and maternal traits, we handle the hard work so you can focus on growing your operation.
And there's been a lot of time put in on them, and there's a lot of quality out here, and we're going to make sure things are right. But I think they fall in line pretty darn nice. We're going to go ahead and pull the steer out of the last division or last class here for your division champion in this crossbred division. And we'll pull in his second, and then I guess we'll go through reserve, or through the top 5.
Well, congratulations, your champion exotic steer exhibited by Ramy Yoakum coming out of class 10. Over in the Simmental ring, top 5 exotic steers here in your Market Steer Show. Your champion exhibited by Ramy Yoakum. Reserve champion went to McClay Gensini. 3rd place was exhibited by Cold Caldwell. 4th place will go to Sierra Collins, and 5th place went to Tyler Neal. We'll get the ring cleared. We're going to get started with your grand drive of our Market Steer Show in just a couple minutes here in ring 2. A correction on that. We are doing our grand drive at 4:30. We just got a little excited up here at the announcer booth. 4:30, we're going to have that market steer grand drive. 5 o'clock, we'll have your spring drive for our junior females, open females, and open bulls. Again, we invite you to come back here around 4:30 for the Night of Supremes here at the Cattleman Congress.